Good morning, class. Today I am going to assign to you a by-pair activity. You are tasked to research about the history of the language instruction in the Philippines. It should contain the different era or periods in the Philippines, the language instruction used in that period, and the legal basis to support your claim. That is all for today and good luck with your task.
Kapuya research daghan na sa kita basahon ani.
Lovely. But you know what? I have another way to know the history of language of instruction.
And it doesn't involve reading long textbooks.
Absolutely.
Alin sa mana?
Mag-time travel ta.
Huh?
Lagi, tinood din eh.
Oh.
Ilan sa pangulaan. First, you need to clear your mind and only think of a certain period of time. Dahil magdungan tagtubag o time machine take us to the pre-Hispanic period of time. Dahil mag-clap hands ta kaduha na snap sa fingers.
Di ay?
Di mo tuo eh. Ali, atong suwayan di. At to the pre-Hispanic era.
Okay.
Time machine take us to the pre-Hispanic era.
Oh my God! We actually time travel.
Away, nantik ka?
Waistra
Ali, mag-take notes ta.
Magandang araw mga estudyante, ako si Daniela Kadungon at alam kong nagtataka kayo kung ano ang wika na ginagamit sa panahon ng pre-Hispanic sa Pilipinas. Tagalog ang wika na ginagamit sa panahon ng pre-Hispanic at mas inuunan ng mga tao ang kanilang pamumuhay kaysa sa kanilang pag-aaral. At kung mayroon mang makapagtuturo ng iba't ibang bagay o pag-aaralan, yun ay ang kanilang magulang o di kaya tagapagturo sa kanilang tribo. Naisagawa ang uri ng panunulat sa unang panahon bago pa man tayo nasakop ng Kastila. Ito ay tinatawag na baybayin. Baybayin o sa salitang ugat na baybay ay kadalasang ginagamit upang ilarawan ang spelling.
Bakit pa walang legal basis?
Hindi na kailangan ng anumang sentralisadong edukasyon dahil ang mga barangay na pinamumunuan ng mga dato ay independyente sa isa't isa. Walang itinatag na nakasulat na kurikulum mula noon at ang dapat lang matutunan ng mga bata ay ang kanilang mga pangangailangan, kaugalian at tradisyon sa pre-Hispanic period.
Time machine take us to the Spanish colonization period.
Hola, mucho gusto, me llamo Rain, and I will be sharing with you about the Spanish colonization era and its effect to the language of instruction to the education of the country. During the Spanish colonial period, education was mostly run by the church. Reading and writing in Spanish language was taught to the locals, the Spanish authorities. An educational decree by Spain was established in an effort of reforming the Philippine education system. Therein stated that in each municipality it is required to have 2 primary schools, one for boys and one for girls. This education decree of 1863, which liberalized access to education, there were 3 grades, Entrada, Ascenso, and Termino. The curriculum required a study of Christian doctrine, values and history, as well as reading and writing in Spanish, mathematics, agriculture, etiquette, singing, word geography, and Spanish history. The educational decree also provided for normal school run by the Jesuits to educate male teachers in Manila. And on the other hand, normal schools for women teachers were not established until 1875 in Nueva Cáceres. That will be all. Gracias. Adios.
Time machine take us to the Philippine Revolution period.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? You are in the Philippine Revolution period, year 1896 to 1898. The language of instruction used is Spanish. At this time, Jose Rizal criticized the Friar's method of instruction which are disproportionate or focused on religion, lack of pedagogical skills, and there are irrelevant courses in the curriculum. There were 6 curricular reforms to address this issue. 1. Secularization of education. 2. Instruction of Spanish. 3. Greater attention to natural science. 4. The design of a relevant curriculum. 5. Improvement of higher centers of learning. And 6. Improvement of educational system. Gracias.
Take us to the American period.
Hello, good day. I am John Ashbrook, the reporter for American Period. As you can tell, the language of instruction during this period is English. One of the important Republic Act during this period is Republic Act No. 74 of 1901, a highly centralized public school system. This Republic Act was enacted into the law by the Philippine Commission. The Act created the Department of Public Instruction, laid the foundations of the public school system in the Philippines, provided for the establishment of the Philippine Normal School in Manila, and made English as the medium of instruction. There were also 3 levels of education added during this period, which is elementary, high school, and college.
Time machine, take us to the Philippine Commonwealth period.
Good afternoon. You are at Commonwealth period. In this period, the language of instruction is English. Under the Commonwealth, vocational and adult education were given emphasis. In 1940, several changes were made in the Philippine educational system by the virtue of Commonwealth Act No. 586, or also known as Educational Act of 1940. Under this law, the elementary course was reduced from 7 years to 6 years. The minimum age for admissions to grade 1 was raised to 7. The school calendar was also changed, so instead of school year from June to March, it was changed to July to April.
Time machine, take us to the Japanese Regent era.
Konnichiwa, you are now in the Japanese period. Japanese educational policies were embodied in Military Order No. 2 in 1942. The Philippine Executive Commission established the Commission of Education, Health, and Public Welfare, and schools were reopened in June 1942. Executive Order No. 10, the Filipino language bloomed. The Japanese-sponsored republic created the Ministry of Education. Under the Japanese regime, the teaching of Tagalog, Philippine history, and character education was reserved for Filipinos. Love for work and dignity of labor was emphasized.
Time machine, take us to the martial law period.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. This part will be discussing the Education Act of 1982 during the martial law. Education Act of 1982, also known as the Batas Pambansa bilang 232, is an act of providing for the establishment and maintenance of an integrated system of education. In accordance with Section 2, this act shall apply to and govern both formal and non-formal system in public and private schools in all levels of the entire educational system. As provided by this act, the national development goals are as follows. First, to achieve and maintain an accelerating rate of economic development and social progress. Second, to assure the maximum participation of all the people in the attainment and enjoyment of the benefits of such growth. And third, to achieve and strengthen the national unity and consciousness and preserve, develop, and promote desirable cultural, moral, and spiritual values in the changing world. It is also stated in Section 3 that the state shall promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education regardless of sex, age, creed, socioeconomic status, physical and mental conditions, racial or ethnic origin, political or other affiliation. The state shall therefore promote and maintain equality of access to education as well as the benefits of education by all its citizens. That's all in martial law.
Time machine, take us to the Philippine Republic era.
Maayong hapon! Magandang hapon and good afternoon everyone! The policy of bilingual education aims at the achievement of competence in both Filipino and English at national level through the teaching of both languages that are used as media of instruction at all levels. The regional languages shall be used as auxiliary languages in grade 1 and 2, the aspiration of the Filipino to enable them to perform their functions and duties as Filipino citizen in English in order to meet the needs of the country and the community of the nations. DepEd Order 16 Series of 2012, starting school year 2012-2013, the Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education, or MTB-MLE, shall be implemented in all public schools, specifically in kindergarten, grade 1, 2, and 3, as part of the K-12 Basic Education Program.
To summarize everything, here is the Philippines educational historical timeline. First is before year 1521 was the education before the coming of the Spaniards. Year 1521 to 1899 was the education during the Spanish regime. 1896 to 1899, education during the Philippine Revolution. 1898 to 1935, education during the American occupation. 1935 to 1941, education during the Philippine Commonwealth. 1941 to 1944, education during the Japanese occupation. 1944 to 1946, education during the martial law. And lastly, we have year 1946 to the present, which is education under the Philippine Republic. Here's our sources and references. I present to you the Group 3 members.